Hello, my name is John, and you're watching the Boys Don't Knit Knitting Podcast. It is episode lucky number 13, and it is July 6th, 2016. It's been about 2 or 3 weeks since the last time I've made a video, and that is because I had a very frustrating time the last time. For some reason, I keep on forgetting my video settings, and I just need to write them down somewhere where I won't lose them. Because it took me I want to say a week and a half to upload the video, and I think it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since the last time I uploaded that video. And even though it's been that long since my last video, I don't really have too much to show as far as work goes, because I kind of just expanded on an old project, and then I was working on two projects that I finished, but I'll go into that in just a moment. So, as far as what I'm currently working on, I am currently working on my... Oh, my bag got caught on my wheel. So what I'm currently working on right now is two things. I am working on this spinning project right now. So this was a fiber bat, and it was really beautiful. It had a lot of purples, reds, oranges, this weird moss green color, pink. It had white silk in it, and so I was spinning it pretty consistently at first and evenly, and I didn't really mix in the color too much. But then towards the end, the bat was just becoming unruly, so I was just feeding it through. I just wanted to get the project over with. So hopefully it looks fine when it's all spun together. Normally I chain ply on itself, but I really want to be able to get a good portion of this in whatever I'm knitting with. So I'm actually going to ply it with white. So it's going to be, this color with white, which I think will look really nice. So there'll be some parts where it'll be just plain white, so hopefully I don't have too many of those. And what I want to do is I want to knit this with black yarn. So it'll be a hat, and then maybe, or even gloves possibly, and then there'll be a big fat stripe in the middle, or if it's glove, there'll be two stripes of these colors on the back ends. So I thought that would be pretty cool. And so that's what's on my wheel at the moment, which I've been really excited about that. The next project is a knitting project, and it is this one right here. So I can't remember exactly what I showed in the last video, but I want to say this hat may have been done, and it was a little bit bigger than what I liked it to be. And after finishing the hat, this hat right here, it felt really big in comparison to that hat. The hat that I made for display fit perfectly. I loved it. I was so happy with that hat. And so I was okay, we're going to move down a needle size. So rather than using a size 8 needle, I'm using a size 7. So the difference may not be huge, but that's what I'm kind of going for. I just want it to be just a tad bit more snug. But I really love this color, because everyone's why are you tearing it out? Why don't you just make a second hat? I'm well, because they don't make this yarn weight anymore. And I just really liked this specific yarn, and I really want to use this ball. And I didn't want to just give that hat away. So it had to be really someone really special for me just to give that hat away to somebody. And so I was just screw it, I'm on a budget, so I'll just tear out the hat, frog it, and then reknit it. Since it's not a difficult hat to knit. I think I mentioned this a lot in the past, but the Cabot hat is very, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but the Cabot hat, it's really simple. It's just a basic ribbing. So I'm doing the ribbing right now, and you do it for 15 rows, and then you start on the pattern. And once you do the pattern, I want to say the repeat at least once. It's pretty much self-explanatory what you do for the rest of the hat, and you just keep on doing it until you have all of the pattern repeats finished. So the yarn, once again, I'm using this for is Madeline Tosh in the Autumn Leaf colorway, which she stopped making, sadly. So my the Kiki at Craftopia was telling me that she was really disappointed because that was a big seller for her. This is a really popular colorway for her, so it'll just be something I strive for when I start dyeing my own fiber, my own yarns. So. Oh, and another thing I'd like to show, which is a break from my art, is this mug. I thought this mug was really charming at the thrift store. I fell in love with it, and then I saw that it was only $2, and so I ended up purchasing it, and even got a compliment. Hold on, there we go. And I'm sorry, my computer's been really buggy lately, so you'll notice that in the video things cut in and out every once in a while. But I got a compliment from the guy at the counter who said that this was a steal, and it surely was, because turns out this is from Trader Sam's in Disneyland. This is the first edition of the Shrunken Head mug, so it's actually the biggest of all the editions. It's not the most detailed as much as the second or third, possibly fourth, but I really like this one a lot. And like I said, it's big, so it holds a lot of water for me. And I bought it for $2, but it turns out it's going on eBay right now anywhere between $35 and $65. So I want to say I've only seen 2 of these ones that were for $65 and $55. The other ones were going for. Okay, so my other project, which I finished, is so you remember I was doing the Malabrigio roving. I was spinning from that, and it came out with this one. This was in the color Persia way. Why is it freezing? Okay, I have to apologize again. Like I said, I'm thinking about actually investing in a better recording system and webcam. So hopefully this can happen more frequently while I'm filming. But this is the Persia colorway in the Malabrigio roving. And this is 4 ounces, so I still have 2 more of these other than this one. So this is the one that I just finished spinning. So this one came out a little bit more even. I'm really happy with it. So my main concern was that it was going to be more even and not as variegated as this one, but I'm thinking it shouldn't matter. I'm just going to knit a hat out of it, so I might knit like the ribbing with this one, since this might show off, might look a bit more nicer in the ribbing, and then just do the rest of the hat in this one, since the rest of the hat may have more like texture in it. So that might be my coming up pretty soon. If you've ever made a skein before, which should be something that we should all learn to do as knitters, especially if you go to like fancy knit stores and you like break the like skein, you're just like, oh, what do I do with this? I only learned to do this when I started spinning my own yarn. So that's pretty much it for as far as my projects go that I currently have on right now. Additionally, I have, as far as with weaving, spinning, everything like that goes, I haven't really touched my weaving from the loom project I did. So I'm essentially at the same place as I was the last time, because, like I said, it's just become really tedious trying to work on this one. I wish I could, have just go ahead and build something, because what's tedious about it is just this warping stick. It's only works one way, and so the other way you kind of have to tediously like thread it manually through the warps, and I figured out a way of making it so you just make something that works like a regular shuttle, but I have to wait till I make it. So, but while on the topic of weaving, as most of you know, I am part of the Fresno Weavers and Spinners Guild. So, which I met through Fresno State, no, Fresno, the big Fresno Fair about 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. That's when I started spinning, and I took up spinning from them, and actually showed at the fair last year. I'll be showing again this year and demonstrating. While at the last meeting, we did two really cool things. One of them is we learned to do lavender wands, which there we go. This is a lavender one. It was a lot of fun to make. This is what we did at the last meeting, so it was part of like it, because I was thinking to myself, what does like lavender wands have to do with weaving? But you're actually weaving the ribbon in between the lavender sticks. So it smells really nice. And I had a funny story about this, which I guess actually is maybe more scary for some people. But when we did this, I want to say 2 Saturdays ago, Gail, she had just brought a ton of lavender, and we were all having such a blast, and I was thinking to myself, oh, this would be like a lot of fun to do with like my boyfriend and my niece, and make some lavender wands for the car and for the bedroom and for the closet, since they ward away moths and insects, because they don't like the smell of lavender for some reason. And so she was like, go ahead and take as much as you want home. So I grabbed a whole bunch of it. I put it in my car. Me and Jane went to go eat afterwards, and I parked in the sun, so that my car was, in the California heat right now. It was really terrible. So when I got back in my car, there was such an overwhelming, like, scent of lavender. And I was like, okay, that's just really strong. It's not a bad smell, And I was feeling really relaxed on the drive to Craftopia after lunch, and I just got so tired and so exhausted because I guess lavender really makes people sleepy, or at least can help people relax enough to feel sleepy. And I was just praying that I would stay awake on the way home, because I was just felt so exhausted and so tired. I didn't do anything that day, and I didn't stay up late the night before, but that lavender really got me tired. So, and then the day, I think that day, I pretty much just stayed in bed for the rest of the day and just slept. But if you are ever interested in making lavender wands, I would suggest it, because it's a lot of fun and they smell really great. But at that same weaving meeting, a wonderful friend Marty, another guild member, she just flat out said, hey, would anyone be interested in, because I think one of our members, Jane, my friend, she just bought a heddle loom. I'm not sure what kind it is, but it has like 8 shafts to it. It has more shafts than mine does. And her loom is like, if you've ever seen the big table loom, like you'll see that it has 2 like wheel turners and stuff like that, and then it has the shafts in the middle that you can lift up. So she recently got one, so we got on the topic of, maybe we can get together and show Jane how to do weaving, which would be learning for me too as well, because I don't know how to do I don't know how to do a heddle loom. And Marty ended up saying that she no longer wanted her loom anymore, and if anybody wanted it, they could take it off her hands. They would just have to pick it up and clean it off. And so nobody said anything for the first few seconds, so I just went and jumped up and said, I would like it, I'll go ahead and take it. So I was really curious to see what it looked like, and it's amazing. So here's some video footage of it, and I'm just so excited about this. It looks amazing now that I've cleaned it off, because when I first got it, it was kind of scary, but it was in storage, for quite a while, like Marty said, and she was never going to use it, so it was just covered in dust. And I managed to clean it and oil it, polish it. Now I just need to clean off the metal parts. And the only thing that I'm concerned about, or that I think might be wrong with it, is I think Marty was using pre-spun spools for her warps. So I will have to um, figure out a way to get the spools off and see if maybe she has the warp roller, possibly. So, because if you saw in the video, warp it's supposed to look like the front end where that has the little ties that spin around. So, other than that, it's in great condition, and I'm so happy with it. I'm so grateful to Marty. She's such a wonderful friend and guild member, and I'm just so excited that she let me have this. So, and the cleaning up process hasn't been hard at all. It's been really fun and just really exciting because, you know, when my dad first saw it, he was like, "You're bringing ads to the house," and then and later on that day, he was like, "Wow, that's like a completely different, like, you know, whatever it is," and he was really impressed by how much I was able to clean it. So that felt really good to know that I could fix something up. And that's pretty much been it for as far as arts and crafts go. Tonight I'll be going to my Woolly Wednesday meeting. So I'm going to be taking my loom to see what everybody thinks there, to see, you know, what can be done about the whole spool situation and fixing that up. Also, I haven't been able to go to Spinner meeting in quite some time because of work. Spinners meet up at Woolly Wednesday meets up at like around 5 to 6, all the way up to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 10, however late everyone decides to stay that night. But work has been having me come in on Thursdays at like 1 a.m. for the past like 3 weeks. So it's just been exhausting. And that's part of the reason why I haven't made a video in quite some time, was because of that. Like all last week, I showed up to work, I think it was like 3 or 4 days in a row at 1 a.m. It was really exhausting. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the hours I'm getting. I'm going to be really happy with my paycheck that's coming in tomorrow. And I'm also, at work, things have just been going very stressful, but very fast paced, and work goes by really fast. So I don't mind the stress at all. I'm actually like, in a way, I kind of like it because I feel like the stress is putting more pressure on me to become a better worker, a more efficient worker. So I feel like I'm learning a lot more than what I would have if work was just relaxed and whatever. And I think this stressful time has really shown management how much of an asset I am at work. So that's been a really great thing. Because like I said, once again, it reflects good on me and shows what kind of worker I am. And just personally, everything's been going okay. You know, the things aren't like super amazing, you know, but at the same time, I feel like I have an idea of where I'm going. For a long time, for the past few years, I didn't know what I want to do with my life, and I've just been kind of winging it as I go along, and haven't really had a savings and stuff like that. And basically, I just feel like I've been developing small goals here and there. I've been getting them accomplished, and I've just been really enjoying that and feeling more like I'm becoming slowly more independent in certain ways. But other than that, tell you about some of the goals that I have as far as with art and things like that. I want to get back into embroidery and embroidery. I was wanting to get an embroidery machine for quite some time, but I think it's important that I build up my savings, and if I come into a large sum of money, you know, through work, and I get to make the option of whether or not I want an embroidery machine or a PlayStation 4, I'm probably going to choose the embroidery machine. Or a quilting machine. Or a serger. But, like I said before, I want to get more into embroidery, and I think I might want to possibly experiment with maybe selling some stuff with my embroidery. Because the craft store I work at, they sell a lot of home decor stuff, and there's these really like sweet like pillows and sayings and little wall hangings that are made out of embroidery. And me and my coworker were joking around about like how funny would it be if somebody sold like this stuff with like really crude messages on it, like rather than "Welcome to my sweet home," it's like just had some really foul stuff on it. And we joked about it and how much we would both like buy it if we saw it, and even though we're on budgets. And I thought to myself, you know what? I think this actually might be a market for this in Fresno. I haven't really seen anyone, sell hand embroidered obscene messages at any of the art hops or any of the craft fairs I've seen around here. So I think that might be something I might want to get into. I know I don't. I mean, seem like somebody that would, write crude messages and juxtaposition really sweet things next to crude messages in embroidery. But I have a really, dark sense of humor, and I think that shows a lot when I'm watching horror movies at my local horror meetup group, which meets up, I want to say, the third Fridays of the month. But that's just who I am. A lot of people don't realize like the dark side of me. I have like even this shirt. I think there's like a little skull on it. People don't really notice like the little dark things that I have. If you look at my sewing bag, it's like blood splatter. This lady at the quilt store, she was like, "Oh, that's such a cute bag. It looks like a really cute like paint splatter everywhere." And I was like, "Yeah, paint splatter." Like. The lady after she left was like, "That's blood, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." As you can see, like I love Elvira. I got my Elvira bun, then I went at the horror movie group, and then my Reanimator bun I got from the horror movie group. As I knit, drink with my shrunken head and my things like that. Just think I got my haircut since the last episode, and health-wise, just try to take care of myself. I don't know if I've ever shared this with anybody on my videos, but I am, about a year ago, I was diagnosed with, the early stages of diabetes. Like, I could become diabetic. My blood sugar can get a little out of hand sometimes. For the most part, it's normal. But if I do risky things, like if I eat right before bed, if I eat a lot of sugar, I start noticing symptoms. And it's pretty much stayed the same for the past year. I haven't really been taking care of myself, and that's going to be another goal. So it's not cosmetic. I'm not trying to get in shape because I really don't care about how I look as far as like getting bigger or smaller. Or then I just don't want to grow out of my favorite clothes. But I really do want to, take care of my health better, watch what I eat, do more exercise outside of work, cut off the Red Bulls because I have about 2 Red Bulls a day, and that's unhealthy. I think I should switch to at least just coffee, because at least coffee is like a natural plant and not just a huge cocktail of chemicals. And just become a better artist in everything that I do. So thank you for sitting through my video. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I always appreciate it, and I always appreciate it when a new viewer finds me on Ravelry or on Instagram. I'll include my Ravelry, Instagram, and other information in the show description. If you are a new viewer, thank you for coming by and checking out my video. I noticed that I've been having a lot of people in Europe starting to watch my videos, especially some people in Spain, which I thought was really interesting. I think that was like, I was like, wow, somebody in Spain is like watching like all of my videos. That's so cool. And once again, if you have any questions, you can feel free to, I don't know if YouTube has a direct message, but you can always feel free to leave a comment. Anything about the show, lighting, sound, anything bothering you. I always appreciate hearing people's input about my videos. And I guess just have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on episode 14.